Welcome back on to debate number 2 now. And viewers, it's been almost a month since the new Motor Vehicles Amended Act with those hefty fines and strict fines and rules were implemented by the centre. Of course, it's still not all across the country. Each state has its own version. Some have implemented it, some have cut the fine, some have not done anything at all. Tonight we thought we'll do a status check. Now here is some data that is available that our reporters have picked up from authorities in different cities and states. And the biggest difference actually is visible in Delhi. The citizens of Delhi and those who visit that city regularly will know how unruly the traffic there is. Delhi has now seen a slump in the violations in the number of challans. If you compare it to the 15 days prior and then 15 days later, there's a massive drop. Violations have actually dropped by 78% in Delhi. So between September 1st and 15, there were 73,000 violations that took place, and then they were much lesser than what we saw in August, where there were 3 lakh violations. We see that from 3 lakh to 75,000. In Karnataka, just like Delhi, the compliance has gone up. So in Delhi, you can see people queuing up outside these government offices to get their paperwork done. In Karnataka, license registration has gone up by 15%. Over 1.6 lakh new licenses have been issued in just the last 1 month. Now, isn't that a sign that people are now wanting to follow the rules more, are being forced to follow the rules more? Now, there is a higher compliance, which is why number of violations are also going down. People are thinking twice for jumping that red signal and paying 10,000 rupees. So why are states then still hesitating? Why are states still not implementing this new law? Why is it that all of them agreed on it in principle when the conversation began on the Motor Vehicles Amended Act and now are changing their stand? So in Delhi, Bihar, Haryana, the steep fines have been implemented. Then there are states like Gujarat, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, Punjab, where they have lowered the fine and then implemented. And then there are states like Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand who have not implemented the rule at all. We are still paying the old fines. Why this politics? Isn't this a deterrent? That's the big question we're going to ask one more time. Let's say good evening to Professor P.K. Sarkar, Director of Transportation in the Asian Institute of Transport Development, Sandeep Gaikwad, Advocacy Coordinator for Road Safety Parisar, and Bhaskar Ghosh, spokesperson for the BJP, Suranjan Das Gupta, advocate, joining us from Calcutta as well. But first to Bhaskar Ghosh. Mr. Ghosh, even the states that are governed by BJP are not able to move on this. Isn't there clear data now coming in from Delhi, from Karnataka that suggests that this is a good law and improves safety for us on the roads?
Well, I think I have to slightly highlight on this how this new amendment to the MV Act has happened, the process of amendment. There was a committee which is called the Transport Development Committee, formed by the transport ministers of different states, and they have met more than 5 times in different parts of the country, and all of them has taken decision. No note of dissent was issued or given, and after that the cabinet has taken the approval, and then after the passed in the parliament. That was the background of that, and the background why this is necessity for this MV Act amendment, because there is more than 5 lakh accidents in an year per year. Almost 1,47,913 number of deaths happens.
Correct.
And the transport minister department's budget is 83,000 crores. So it's a huge loss. So that was a need of this for last so many years. Last about 30 years that was a need, but nobody had touched this sensitive subject. Finally, our government headed by Mr. Modi and respective minister has taken up the issue, and there are 5 times all of them has met. Now, after that, only couple of states has implemented. Part of them are the BJP ruled state and part of them are the Congress ruled state, like or the other party, not Congress, other party. like Haryana, Bihar, Delhi, Assam, Tripura, Tamil Nadu and Kerala is implemented. Out of that, Delhi, Tamil Nadu and Kerala is a non-BJP states. They also implemented. There are BJP states who has given a very restricted implementation, either by reducing fines in totality or part of that.
So then
Now
what's
the question
point?
is
So Mr.
that
Ghosh, that's exactly
what it
the
means.
point. If the Modi government has taken such a good step, a bold step, Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh, then why is it that citizens of Maharashtra are not being made to pay these fines? Why is that so? Why does Mr. Fadnavis not see merit in citizens of Maharashtra being fined like this?
No. Let me quote unquote. Let me quote unquote. The Maharashtra Transport Minister Diwakar Raute has said that we will implement it, and before that we are having a public awareness and then we will implement it.
The whole country already knows. What public awareness are you talking about, except the fact that perhaps the BJP in Maharashtra wants to wait for elections to get over. So you will implement it after elections are over in this state.
Tanvi, allow me to speak for next 1 second.
Okay.
Allow me to speak for next 1 second.
Go ahead.
Tanvi, please don't interrupt. A unique case is Karnataka. Karnataka, when there was a Congress government, they have given their approval for increment of the all penalties as it is. And when the BJP has come, BJP has implemented it. But now Congress ruling state like Maharashtra, Punjab and others, they have not implementing it on account of a political vendetta or political reasons. Now see the dichotomy or see the
okay. Let me take that point across. Let me take that point across to Mr. Sunil Chopra as well.
They have given approval.
Yes, Mr. Sunil Chopra, there are some BJP governed states who have not implemented it. There are some BJP governed states like Gujarat who have drastically reduced the fines and then implemented it. But Sunil Chopra, fact of the matter is that initial data, if you compare it in the first 15 days of the fine and then the next 15 days of the fine, there is a clear trend, Mr. Sunil Chopra, that compliance is going up, that people are queuing up for their documentation, that while violations and challans have actually gone down, especially in Delhi, even in Karnataka, then why is it that some of the state governments still don't want to implement it?
There are two reasons, and both of these can be covered through videos that are quite well known. One of them is that the larger number of cases, because the fines are so high, are actually brushed away by the police by taking a bribe. And this is happening regularly in Gurgaon. I have checked up. And more than that, we saw the son and possibly the daughter-in-law of Ashwini Chaubey, the minister. They got away with it, 45,000 fine. So what are you doing? This has all been photographed. So you are increasing corruption and money making under this principle.
Okay, I will get a response from Bhaskar Ghosh.
And the ordinary man who is unable to pay will pay a bribe.
Well, if they are unable to pay, they should not be breaking the rules. Let's just get it very straight and simple. If you are not able to pay the fine, please don't break the rules. Please get your documents in place. Those people who have been fined, I'm very clearly stating this, those people who have been fined 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, Mr. Sunil Chopra, are the ones who didn't have their license, are the ones who didn't have their registration, are the ones who didn't have their insurance papers, were driving without a license, some of them under the influence of alcohol with zero documentation. With zero documentation. There is absolutely no justification. Don't break the rule. Don't break the rule. That's as simple as it gets. But let me go across to our other panelists, Mr. Chopra. I'll come back to you. Professor Sarkar, what's your view? Is this a good law?
Please.
Or do you think that it will not work and Sunil Chopra is right? It will just lead to more corruption.
I think that Mr. Gadkari has taken a very good step, and this should have been done at least 10 years back, and I'm extremely happy this has come into force. Hopefully, when the electronic surveillance systems will be in place, and most of the things about the corruption part will be taken care of. So this is because it's a kind of teething problem. I think that in case if we do not do this, if you do not do this, it means practically we are inviting more death to happen. Are you really prepared to lose for more lives in the near future? You are already losing nearly 1.5 billion, 1 lakh people dying on roads. And if you look at the other countries, in the Western countries, they have done fantastic results. They have made a fantastic results in terms of reduction of road accidents. You take Sweden, you take England, you take Australia, any country, it's Japan, they have done a miracle, I am saying. Now, they have made everything as a target and achievement. And we have seen over a period of time, the accident has reduced drastically because of the stringent rules and their heavy fines. You take it Japan. If you violate the traffic rules, you need to pay equivalent to India
There are heavy
1.5
fines,
lakhs rupees.
but no stringent
so how are
rules.
they both? How are they? Yeah, yeah. There is a stringent rules. You do not know. You see the
There are
Japan
heavy
situation.
fines, no
People are
stringent rules.
scared to violate the
Mr.
traffic rules.
Ashwini
Yes,
Chaube's son,
yes. They
has
have
he
a
been
stringent rules.
proceeded against?
You see, the
Has he-
question.
Mr. Chopra, why
You want
your
more
state is
lives
Kerala
to-
is implementing
Ashwini
it?
Chaube's
First
You
you
want
answer
more
that.
lives
to be-
Why
One minute,
Kerala
one
is
minute,
implementing
1
it?
minute.
You
Okay,
want
Bhaskar
more
Ghosh can
lives to be
respond.
lost on
Bhaskar
the
Ghosh can
Why
respond.
Kerala
Bhaskar
is
Ghosh, the
implementing
fact
it,
of the
Mr.
matter is
Chopra?
that
Why
it is
Kerala
going to
is
be very
implementing
difficult to enforce this and ensure that there is no corruption and
It is
ensure that
not
the
implementing
VVIPs
it
don't
in
get
the
away,
same
that the
spirit.
VVIPs
It is
also pay their
reducing
fine.
it and implementing
Yes,
it.
Bhaskar Ghosh.
Exactly.
No, absolutely not. Let me tell you the provisions of the Act. Even for the police, even the cops who are violated will be fined twice. In the Act, it is very clearly provision.
No, no,
Any
that's-
VVIP, including cops, will be fined 2 times than the normal.
No, that's
Number
for the,
one.
that's for
Number
the traffic
two,
cops.
even for
No, that's for the traffic
selling the
cops if they break the rule,
unauthorized vehicle.
which is going to be disastrous for this country any which ways if the cops start breaking the rules.
Even for the VVIP.
No, but what about the netas? That's the big question. Sandeep Gaikwad, advocacy coordinator for road safety, joining us this
Exactly.
evening. Sandeep, what's
Can
your
you tell
view?
me in
Do you think there are some
NV
state governments?
NDTV showed
any
this.
provision is
Okay, 1 minute, gentlemen. Let Sandeep also make his point. He's heard out everybody.
We are the first
Sandeep Gaikwad,
government
go ahead, please.
who
Yes.
has taken off the red light.
Tanvi Gaikwad, if you can hear me, go ahead, please. You wanted to make a point. There may be a problem with his audio line there. We are going to just try and fix it. Let me try one more time. Mr. Gaikwad, can you hear me? Okay, let me go back. Let me go back to what Mr. Sunil Chopra was saying. Mr. Chopra, fact of the matter is that if people are
Yes.
breaking rules, they need to be penalized for it. Why break rules? Why give the excuse of corruption? Just don't break the rules.
The
Just follow the rules.
question is, if you are going to penalize,
Correct.
then please get a police force that is competent and capable of penalizing people on an equal basis and not making money on the side.
Okay, but isn't that gradually happening? You have e-challans now in most of the big cities. You have CCTVs that record
No,
your
it
vehicle
isn't. I
number,
saw
registration
today
number, your
3
traffic
very
violation,
fancy young
and the challan is
I'll
sent to
tell
your
you.
home. As we get more and more digital, as there is more and more scrutiny, the corruption problem will go away.
Fancy young people. All 3 were without helmets.
Tanvi, I have got a question for Mr. Sunil
All
Chopra.
3 were without helmets.
I have
No
got
one
a
stopped
question
them.
for Sunil Chopra.
Yes, Mr.
That
Bhaskar
in his
Ghosh.
own state, in Kerala,
Please.
why it has been implemented? His own state of left government, Kerala, why
It
it
has
has
not been
implemented?
No,
implemented in
Mr.
this
Bhaskar
country.
Ghosh, you have your facts wrong
If it is
there.
so objectionable.
Kerala hasn't implemented it, Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh. Kerala has written back to the center
have
saying
your
the
facts
fines are
wrong.
too high, which is ridiculous because even if they want to reduce the fines,
Exactly.
the Kerala state has the power to do that and then implement the law.
Because
You
of
Kerala
the
has not
Onam.
implemented it.
Because
Kerala
of
has
the
done what
Onam.
it has done. Kerala has
Okay,
done
let me
what
just
it
check
has
if I
done.
can go across to Mr. Sandeep Gaikwad.
It's
During
not
the
because
period of
of Onam.
Onam,
Okay.
It is not because of Onam. They have cut it down because they feel it is wrong for the people. Most people can't afford it.
All right, I'm completely out of time here, so I'm going to thank all of our
it is not
panelists
wrong
who've
for the
joined us
people.
on this debate. Fact of the matter is, viewers, and I believe that something drastic was needed to really bring about some discipline on the roads of our country. Because otherwise, each and every life is at risk. It's not just about that one person who breaks the signal. It's about the other person's life which is at stake because you've broken the signal, you're possibly going to ram into somebody and cause an accident. We can't afford to be losing lives like that. And so if the government has brought in a rule with steep fines, which is resulting in more people getting aware and lining up to get their documentation done and thinking twice before breaking a rule, before cutting lanes, before jumping the signal, before not wearing a helmet, then what is wrong in that? Why break the rule? If you're going to sit here and complain about big high fines and steep fines, don't break the rule. It is unfortunate that state governments, individual parties who all got together and discussed this law are now today playing politics, risking your life and my life. And what's happening in the state of Maharashtra? Simply not bringing it in because there are elections lined up. If the BJP believes that this is a good law and that steep fines will help, Mr. Nitin Gadkari believes that, then at least the state of Maharashtra should implement this. State of Gujarat has reduced the fines and implemented it. BJP's own states are not following the central law. What can be said about the opposition? Thank you so much for joining us on debate number 2. And it's time for our daily Eco Tracker. A big bang announcement by the government today in a bid to boost the economy. Finance Minister slashed the corporate tax rate for domestic companies from paying a tax of anywhere between 30 to 35%. The companies will now pay a tax of 25%. 22% plus some additional roughly comes to about 25%. In fact, a bigger boost for new manufacturing companies was also announced today. Now, new manufacturers, and this is the incentive, will only have to pay 17% corporate tax, practically cutting their burden by half. It's a massive, bold move by the government in the hope that this will lower the tax burden on companies and they will be able to invest more, they will be able to produce more, and they will be able to create more jobs. But the downside, this will also cost the government as much as 1.45 lakh crore rupees. Yes, 1.45 lakh crore rupees is what the government will lose because they're not going to get that as tax collection. Finance Minister's announcement obviously led to Friday fireworks on the Dalal streets as the markets celebrated and skyrocketed. Sensex spiked over 1900 points in one day. Markets benchmark, both Sensex and Nifty, posted their biggest single-day gain in 10 years. The Sensex closed at 38,014, while the Nifty gained at about 570 points, closing at 11,274. Now, after this, there was a GST Council meeting that everybody was also waiting for and very, very closely tracking. However, contrary to the demand, contrary to the expectations of the auto sector, no GST relief has come for the automobile sector. But hostel stays, hotel stays for you will get cheaper. There will be no GST levied for hotel tariffs less than 1,000 rupees, which is in the lower strata in the budget segment, while GST for hotel tariffs in the higher segment beyond 7,500 rupees has also been slashed from 28% to 18%. And caffeinated beverages are among the items that will get more expensive, with the rate being hiked from 18% to 28%. Well, that's the Eco Tracker for tonight. We're completely out of time on this edition of The Last Word. Have a good night.